Joshua, the promise fulfilled. The mantle of leadership fell heavy upon Joshua's shoulders. Moses, the great prophet of God, had departed from this world, and now the Lord's voice came clear and strong to Joshua. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan thou, and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Joshua 1:2. Standing at the edge of camp, Joshua remembered the Lord's promise of strength. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Joshua 1:5. With divine courage stirring in his heart, Joshua commanded the officers of the people, "Pass through the host, and command the people, saying, Prepare you victuals. For within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan, to go in to possess the land, which the Lord your God giveth you to possess it." Joshua 1:11. Before launching the full invasion, Joshua sent 2 spies into Jericho. There they found refuge in the house of Rahab, whose faith shone bright in her declaration, "I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror has fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you." Joshua 2:9. When the time came to cross the Jordan, the Lord worked a mighty miracle. As it is written, "And as they that bear the ark came unto Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, that the waters which came down from above stood and rose up upon a heap." Joshua 3:15-16. The conquest of Jericho followed, where God's battle plan defied human wisdom. For 6 days they marched around the city, and on the 7th day the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. Joshua 6:20. Yet not all victories came easily. At Ai, Israel faced defeat because of hidden sin in the camp. Joshua cried out to the Lord, "Alas, O Lord God, wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us?" Joshua 7:7. After the sin was purged, victory returned to Israel's armies. In one of the most extraordinary battles, Joshua commanded the very sun to stand still. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day, when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, "Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon." Joshua 10:12. The Lord hearkened to Joshua's voice, and the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hastened not to go down for a whole day. Joshua 10:13. As the campaigns continued, the Lord's promise held true. "And the Lord gave unto Israel all the land which he sware to give unto their fathers, and they possessed it, and dwelt therein." Joshua 21:43. Victory after victory came as the Lord delivered all their enemies into their hand. Joshua 21:44. When old age crept upon him, Joshua gathered all Israel for a final address. His words rang with the authority of a life lived in faithful service. "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Joshua 24:15. The people responded with one voice. "And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord, to serve other gods." Joshua 24:16. They remembered all that God had done through Joshua's leadership. Joshua's earthly journey ended as it is written, And it came to pass after these things, that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. Joshua 24:29. His legacy lived on in the hearts of the people. And Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders that overloved Joshua, and which had known all the works of the Lord, that he had done for Israel. Joshua 24:31. Centuries later, the writer of Hebrews would reflect on Joshua's story, pointing to a greater rest than even the promised land. For if Jesus, Joshua, had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. Hebrews 4:8-9. The parallels between Joshua and Jesus Christ run deep. As Joshua led God's people into their earthly inheritance, so Jesus leads his people into their spiritual inheritance. As Joshua conquered through God's power, so Christ conquered death itself. The Apostle Paul would later write, "For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet." 1 Corinthians 15:25. Joshua's story reminds us that God's promises never fail. As it was written of Joshua's time, there failed nani fidi til.